Get them. Bring me all the fans' money.
We're trying, but we keep missing the mark. So I was cruising YouTube, and I don't watch YouTube logged in because I figure they already get enough of my personal information. And then I see this video in my suggested, and I'm like, hey, this fucker's ripped off my thumbnail. So I clicked on the video, and holy shit, it was my video. And you guys blew it the fuck up. Holy shit. And it was really weird having my own videos suggested to me, and then of course seeing everything I missed. You guys crack me up. Like my other videos, I got annoyed and I ranted, and that was it. It was over and I was done. Soilo came out and I had decided not to go see it because I'm not giving Disney my money for a substandard product with badly disguised SJW propaganda shoved into it. And judging from the box office numbers, it'll be on Netflix in a few weeks, and I can just watch it for free. Initially, the agenda was at least thinly veiled, very thinly veiled at first. I mean, they made their agenda clear off-screen, but then with each movie, good old Kathleen Kennedy virtue signaled harder and harder until it was questionable to some as to whether or not the whole thing was a parody. Nobody wants that, and the only way to send a message to a giant corporation like Disney is to strike them right in their bottom line. And holy shit, did you guys do that? I guess we all did. I guess we all stayed home and made a statement saying that we are not going to buy a substandard product that we don't want. Lucasfilm had one of the largest and most loyal fan bases that's lasted for, what, like 40 years now? And what does Kathleen Kennedy decide to do with it? She decides to take a big dump right on the fans' faces. Just say, hey, thanks for all the years of giving us your money so I could buy a really nice beach house, but you know what? Fuck you. You need to like what we want you to like.
I remember one thing that was very informative to me, because I would say, like, but we really have to think of what the audience expects and what they want. And he says, no, we have to do the opposite. We have to give them something they don't expect that we want.
It's similar to a badly written script where the writer says, well, I wouldn't do that, but they would. It's summed up perfectly in Rian Johnson's sentiment of, you have to kill the past.
I mean, it says right in the script, forget the past, kill it if you have to. You're doing a pretty good job.
I'm trying.
And if it's not obvious what he's saying here, let me interpret for you. He's going to shit on the legacy he was handed. He's going to take a big, steaming dump on one of the most loved franchises of all time. Rian Johnson intentionally stuck his middle finger up at the fans and wiped his ass with the Star Wars legacy. Why? I guess he thinks Star Wars fans are all a bunch of privileged white males, and he really wants to stick it to ya. And there's a really old clip of Rian from around the release of Brick, and it's pretty telling.
I would be worried if everybody across the board was like, yeah, that was a good movie. It's much more exciting to me when you get, a group of people who are like coming up to you and really, really excited about it. And then there are other people who walk out literally saying it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Having those two extremes to me is the mark of the type of movie that I want to make.
Well, it looks like you managed that at least. It almost seems like Kathleen Kennedy is designing the franchise to fail. Soilo had casting and production problems, and then the budget doubled when Ron Howard reshot most of the movie. And then one of the stars, Dong Lever, released his far-left Childish Gambino video only weeks before the release of the movie. Only then to have his character labeled bisexual and then pansexual by Lawrence Kasdan, the other writer's dad, who posted an article verifying that yes, the character was indeed pansexual. He commented, I would have loved to have gotten a more explicitly LGBT character into the movie. What is pansexual, you ask? It's like that old joke. I'm trisexual. What's trisexual? I'll try anything once. Great work. You have gone so far, you are becoming a parody of yourself. And this shit makes the fucking Kardashians look sane. Also, he fucks the robot.
Oh, my sacral occipital circuit is sticking. You're gonna have to do that thing again later.
Yeah.
To anyone who wasn't around for the first trilogy prior to the release of the prequels, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi was a magical trilogy that captured our imaginations to the point that we got the toys as kids so we could not only reenact the movies, but create our own adventures with the characters that we loved. That was the spirit that created the extended universe. We all wanted another real Star Wars movie, but we never thought we'd get one. Then, when the next movie was announced, we collectively shit ourselves in disbelief. I will admit, I thought Lucas's story at the time of there being 6 scripts, and the studio picked the 4th one to make because it had the most action, it always seemed a little weird to me. And of course, later we learned that it probably wasn't true.
There you go. A first draft. Official first draft.
Holy damn, another Star Wars film was coming out. At that point, I hadn't really kept the torch burning like a lot of my friends did at the time, but I have to admit that when the next movie was announced, I paid attention to every mention of it. They shot it, or at least partially, on HD, which was brand new technology at the time, and it was one of the first to use that technology. The title and the trailer dropped, and it was cool, but weird. I think Red Letter Media's Plinkett review perfectly sums up what I think most of us thought as we were watching that trailer for the first time.
But then when you saw the trailer for The Phantom Menace, it looked pretty good. Oh my god, a new Star Wars movie? Can you fucking believe it? Hey, awesome, a young Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting some weird alien dude with a red lightsaber. Oh. A little kid? Well, I'll give it a shot, I guess. Hey, neat space battles. Oh, what's up with that geisha-looking chick? That's kind of weird. It doesn't really look like Star Wars should look, but maybe it could be cool. But wow, this is kind of exciting. And then you saw the movie. Oh.
And even though the prequels didn't age well, they were huge. Basically, what I'm saying is that even after the prequels, it was impossible for me to imagine this beloved franchise not ever being a powerhouse at the box office and with fans. A few years later, the prequels were universally panned by fans. In fact, Red Letter Media is on the map because of their 70-minute Plinkett review of The Phantom Menace. And that's more of a brutal autopsy than a review.
Describe Queen Amidala's character. Monotone?
That is going to be fucking impossible because she doesn't have a character.
Look, I'm just going to say it. Anyone at this point that praises the prequels, let alone the Disney movies, is either a shill, an SJW, or has severe Stockholm syndrome. Like Kathleen Kennedy is some kind of femdom queen giving you CBT until you learn to like it. Please don't hurt me anymore. I'll be good. I'll like SJW Star Wars. Look, I get it. Being a fan these days is a thankless job. You love a property and you support it. You see it multiple times and you buy the merchandise, only to have the people directly involved give you a shitty version of what you wanted, or not what you wanted at all, and then blame you for not liking it. Now take a listen to this insincerity from good old Kathleen Kennedy herself.
Now, obviously, I think a lot of people out there know that Star Wars is 100% dependent on the fans in this room and all over the world since 1976. That Star Wars is 100% dependent on the fans in this room and all over the world since 1976.
Wow, that is really disingenuous. Kinda kind of reminds me of someone. Of course, companies that don't have their head up their asses treat their customer base with respect and not disdain. They at least try to make products you want to spend your money on. Maybe that's the future of marketing. Make anything you want, no matter how bad the idea is, and then blame society when it doesn't sell. And it's basically victim blaming, but hey, maybe you can get some guilt sales. I had a friend who got pity lays all the time, so maybe. And here we are today, in a world where Star Wars toys don't sell, and Soilo lost money. Now let's play a little game I like to call Spot the Pattern. And for this example, I'll draw a parallel between Soilo and the Ghostbusters reboot, aka GB-16. It goes like this. A movie is made with a heavy-handed SJW political message. For GB-16, it was feminism and I'm with her. Remember when GB-16 endorsed Hillary Clinton? I do. Sony Pictures Entertainment explicitly politicized one of its movies on Wednesday by allowing the official Ghostbusters Twitter account to endorse Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Booyah, we smashed your glass ceiling. There was a ghost behind it. Hashtag, I'm with her. Hashtag, bust the ceiling. Hashtag, Ghostbusters. A GIF accompanying the message read, 2016, the year we busted ghosts. And your glass ceiling. Hashtag, I'm with her. And for Soilo, it was feminism in the form of L7, 1940 slang for a square or a nerd. And for GB-16, Amy Pascal at Sony let Paul Feig spearhead the Ghostbusters cinematic universe with a parody of the original material. For Soilo, Kathleen Kennedy let Rian Johnson make a mockery of the second film in the trilogy, and then she handed him his very own trilogy. Meanwhile, Soilo is so bad they reshoot half the movie, and articles ponder if it might be a parody. For GB-16, when fans weren't happy and said, "This sucks," Leslie Jones got cyberbullied on Twitter. Then Paul Feig and the shill media white-knighted and called the fans basement dwellers and man babies. Good work, Sony. Good work. For Soilo, when fans weren't happy and stayed home, Ross Tycho gets bullied off Instagram, and Rian Johnson and the shill media white knight and call the fans, wait for it, basement dwellers and man babies. Great work, Disney. Great work. So remember, big studios, when people don't go see your movie, the best approach is to shit on the fans and call everyone a racist, sexist, misogynist, and homophobe. You know, all the ists, obes, and isms in the SJW label library. Now, this needs a catalyst. You'll need the cast member with the most oppression points to get bullied off of social media so you can blame the fans. In GB-16, it was Leslie Jones. Now, I didn't really look into it, but, you know, trolls be trolls, yo, and you show that you're triggered, and that's pretty much it, man. Game over. So for Star Wars, the only one that could check that many oppression point boxes was our good pal Ross Tycho. Female and Asian. So according to the totally reliable MSM, who we know always tells the truth, they say that poor little Ross was bullied off Instagram and deleted her account. Well, faithful viewers, I happen to be an Instagram aficionado. I have several accounts and I use them all frequently, so take my word for it when I say the only way you could really harass someone on Instagram would be to either comment on their posts or use a hashtag like #RoseTicoSucks. This post must be scathing. 50% off is still too much for a Rose Tico figure. Devastating. Yeah, one post about an action figure. Definitely cyberbullying. So I checked the Rose Tico hashtag, and it was pages and pages of people being supportive and saying how great she was. So I went back further, much further, before she deleted her shit. And this was her last message. Now, I would have expected a more angry or sad message. Not this. And I went back to posts way before she deleted her account, and the worst I found was markdown action figures. This character's figures did not sell. I was just at Target and Walmart, and they still had plenty of Ross Tycho figures. So I guess in the current year, truth is hate speech. Let's look at these posts. Let's see. Bad memes. Okay. Pretty much 99.8% of these posts are very, very supportive. Okay. Here's a cartoon with Ross Tycho and a dog. Well, does it say she's going to eat the dog or something? No. I guess it's just fan art. What's this? Since some of you can't tell the difference between Ross Tycho and an actress. Yeah, that would be you, mainstream media. That would be you. Now, I've seen people get blasted on Instagram, and normally they just put their profile on private and delete the comments. You can also block people pretty easily since Instagram is owned by Facebook. Now, on a side note, I had a pending Instagram update, and I'm pretty sure it just said bug fixes and improvements, and now it's all preaching about cyberbullying and shit. Knock it off, Instagram. Leave the internet policing to Facebook. You know, that crappy site that owns you that people are leaving in droves because it's garbage now. So in summary, make movies filled with politics fans don't want. Pay minority cast member to vanish off social media and claim harassment. And bingo bango, blame the fans, and Kathleen Kennedy keeps her job. I can only imagine the call.
Oh, hey, Rose, it's your good buddy Kathleen Kennedy here. Yeah, what's going on? Well, box office is tanking. I'm gonna need you to take one for the team. Like, what can I do? So, I'm gonna need you to delete your Instagram so we can say it's, like, fan harassment. Can I just, like, go private? Like, well, the thing is, if you go private, people that follow you that are fans could, like, see there's no harassment, so... I don't know, it's like my fan base and stuff, so... did I mention that you're in the next movie? And I'm, definitely planning a Ross Tycho solo movie. Okay, all deleted. Bye! Ross Tycho just deleted her Instagram. Get the art department to make up some spicy cyberbullying comments and get them over to Stephen Colbert's stat.
Star Wars actress Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose in The Last Jedi, has been bullied off Instagram after being harassed by racist trolls. And may I remind you, Kelly Marie Tran is the first lead woman in a Star Wars movie who is not white. So, just to teach these fanboys a lesson, we here at The Late Show have partnered with Lucasfilm to create a new Star Wars movie, and we've got the world premiere of the exclusive trailer right now.
In 2019 comes the first Star Wars movie specifically designed to make racist, misogynist nerds mad. Starring Kelly Marie Tran as Rose Tico. Yeah, she's the main character now. All the cool male characters like Kylo Ren.
Did he just call Kylo Ren cool? Now, also, did you notice that the only white male in the movie is the villain? Yeah, real subtle there, guys.
This question is for JJ.
We would like to know, do you plan on having any Asian characters join the cast in any upcoming Star Wars films?
First of all, I want to say, go Asians. I think the whole room feels that way. Here's the thing, I'm not casting the movies that are coming up, but if I were to, I would cast them as only Asian.
Okay, so fans didn't like a shoehorned-in character that was an obvious pander to the Chinese market, and now we're all the ists, isms, and phobes. That is a really great way to appeal to your fan base, aka your bottom line. Just insult them. Oh, and if anyone out there is naive enough to think that Star Wars is still for children, car manufacturer Nissan paid for a Star Wars tie-in connecting their Rogue with Rogue Wonton. Now, take a look at the ad itself.
I'm on it.
impressive.
I'm on it. Straight down the center. Impressive.
This poor actress being cut in as the real world version of L7. Jeez. Now, I can't show the rest of this ad because I might get a copyright strike, but in the next scene, she gets shot by a carjacker and dies in the arms of a black homeless man, which it's a really weird way to sell a car. And also, kids don't buy cars. So, another argument I keep hearing from the SJWs are that Star Wars fans are man babies, and they're angry because a woman is in the lead of a sci-fi movie. Well, that is interesting, but have you ever heard of Princess Leia from Star Wars, Barbarella, Ripley from Alien and Alien, Sarah Connor from The Terminator and Terminator 2, Mad Maxine from Fury Road, Lilo from The Fifth Element, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, Alice from Resident Evil, Celine from Underworld, the entire cast of Sucker Punch, that blue broad from Avatar, Fatness from The Chunder Games, Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, Trinity from The Matrix, Violet from Ultraviolet, and Kara Peters from Space Thing. Yeah, nobody had a problem with any of those movies. And fuck, these are just sci-fi movies. If I go to TV shows, animation, and comic books, and include other genres, the list at least triples. Blaming the fans is literally the exact formula Sony used to defend GB-16, a 90-minute SNL parody sketch of the classic film Ghostbusters. Now, I would have actually been fine with an all-female version if the source material hadn't been used as a virtue signal by then studio head Amy Pascal and then shit on by her soy boy Paul Feig. It kind of sounds familiar. Now, who knows? Maybe Disney needed a tax write-off and knew this was the best way to get it. The situation with Ross Tycho is just a little too convenient. Now, Kathleen Kennedy and her golden shower boy Rian Brick Johnson have managed to do what I thought was impossible, which was take the magic out of Star Wars for the majority of its core fan base. In just 3 years, she killed Star Wars. She took arguably one of the biggest film franchises of all time and did it her way. The handling of this franchise will go down in business history as one of the worst mistakes of all time. Now, not yet, of course. We're still too close to it. It's too new. But this will be like the prequels. A lot of people are going to defend it and fanboy out over it. But in a few years, when the newness is worn off, people are going to see this for exactly what it is. Now, I can only hope that the real fans continue to stay home and not spend their hard-earned money on this. Stay home and send the message that we don't want these movies. Not like this. Not full of SJW garbage. Now, maybe if the next one underperforms, Kathleen Kennedy will either be fired or forced to make a decent movie. Well, worst case, there's this change.org petition. Okay, so let me just spell this out for you. Han got killed by Goth Vader and died a disgrace. Luke tossed his lightsaber over his shoulder and drank soy milk from a monster and is disgraced and dead. Princess Leia flew through space like an intergalactic Mary Poppins and was disgraced. Carrie Fisher is gone in real life. So, now think about this. We are left only with the new characters, Finn, Poe, and Mary Sue. That's it.
The fact when I realized, oh my gosh, I'll never get to work with Harrison Ford again. That was the first big disconnect. Then the second one was, realizing that, thinking that they'd kill me off in 9, that they were going to, speed it up a little, get rid of the old fogies and focus on the new gang.
So if you weren't invested in the new characters and where good old Rian Brick Johnson took them, then there's not much left. The Rebellion, now rebranded as the Resistance, a thinly veiled anti-Trump reference, went from a red color scheme to blue. Why? Maybe because that's the Democrat Party color. you might as well just put pussy hats on everyone. So, funny story, I texted a friend and his phone had been disconnected. I went to his Facebook page to get a hold of him, and this whole page was filled with all this anti-Trump resistance shit. I'm like, well, you definitely resisted paying that phone bill, so you got that going. This all said, I kind of hope that JJ can find a way to salvage something. I don't know, maybe bring Luke back so we're not stuck with those boring-ass new characters. I really didn't think you could make me nostalgic for Rat Tail Anakin and his sound monologues, but, you know, I'm probably going to stay home and skip the next one too, unless some major changes happen behind the scenes. So, YouTube is ditching direct messages, and I actually just found the message folder the other day. So, sorry if you wrote me and didn't hear back for like a while. I'm still working on getting a presence on social media. I just really hate social media, but I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it so we can connect, so that we can stay in touch. We can exchange ideas and our feelings. Anyway, like, comment, share the videos, subscribe, and click that stupid little bell for notifications so you'll always know when my next rant is hot and ready. And as always, remember, stay awake, stay alert. We are the new counterculture.